Hello, and today I'm talking about the big primaries from last night. We had primaries in Kansas, Michigan, Washington, Missouri, and Arizona. I believe that is all of them. Um, Now, the first one here that I'm going to talk about is going to be Kansas. No surprise, in the governor primary, Schmidt will be facing off against Kelly. He'll probably win. The one kind of letdown in Kansas and really across the board, the one kind of loss was the Kansas ballot proposition to try to take away abortions from the state. It sadly failed, uh, 41 to 59, um, which I was expecting it to be closer than that, but it was a partly poorly written rule or proposition, so it could have confused some people with that. Um, you did see Chris Kobach won the Attorney General primary. I believe he'll be a very, very good Attorney General for Kansas. And so, really, there, the one big loss would be the ballot proposition against abortion. Um, in Michigan, Tudor Dixon easily won the primary for the governor race with 40.6, easily beating Rinke, Soldano, and Kelly. Rinke only wins 3 counties here. Um, Dixon won across the board in many counties. Uh, she's very good on the issues. She'll probably win this November against Gretchen Whitmer. It'll be a very close race. Whitmer has a lot of money, but I believe Dixon, I think, will pull it off by around 2%. A pretty big win for the governor primary there. Another big win. John Gibbs beat Peter Meyer in the third district primary. Um, Meyer, of course, won the impeachment 10, um, who ran in his campaign in 2020 off of working with Trump on a lot of things. And then the first thing he did was vote to kick him out of office. So Gibbs beats him last night, around 52 to 48. Still a few votes left in that race, but Gibbs will be a fantastic congressman, probably until 2024, which I'm hoping he'll then run for Senate because he likely will not win re-election. But a very big victory to beat Meyer there, who, a very big name recognition, lots of money, pretty much infinite campaign money. And while Gibbs just had endorsements, but Gibbs still pulls it off in the end. A very big victory there. In Washington, you will see Patty Murray and Tiffany Smiley face off in the Senate. Murray will likely win, but Smiley, I think, will make it a pretty competitive race in the end. I think it'll be around maybe D+8 or so in like a D+19 state. I think it's a shame that Washington is just a state which you can't flip, but so you're going to see Smiley and Murray face off in the Senate race there. Currently, votes still being counted here, but Washington's third district, uh, Butler's up by 3% right now with 70% of the vote in. Personally, I don't care for Kent too much, so if Kent were to lose this primary, I would not consider that a big loss. Kent has said some things in the past which I really don't support. So him losing that primary, though would like Butler to be beaten, um, I don't think that it would be a huge loss to see Butler hold on in that race. In the fourth district, Newhouse right now is up by 5.7 with 55.6% of the vote in. For some reason, they cannot report these votes one day after. Um, Gulp down 5.7%. Um, the race seems to be tightening up here, but we'll just have to see. I am hoping Newhouse does lose in the primary here in the end, but it's too early to tell, which I shouldn't have to say that, but it's too early to tell one day after the polls close to see who will win the primary there. Hopefully, though, Newhouse will be beat by Culp in the end here. In the Missouri Senate race, Eric Schmidt wins it 46 to 22 to 19. Eric Schmidt won over 45% of the vote, won most counties here, only losing counties down south here, and then in Hartzler's district. It's a shame that Greitens, sorry, could not win, but when he didn't have enough money, he didn't have enough endorsements. Well, he had half of an endorsement, I guess, but um, and of course, all the scandals that were made up wrecked him. Schmidt will still be a huge upgrade over Roy Blunt, but not the best option there. But Schmidt, I do believe, will be very good for Missouri in the future and will easily win in November here. Um, Rusty Bowers, the Arizona State Senate leader, lost his reelection primary 36 to 64. Still quite a bit of the vote left to be counted, but it's already been called for Farnsworth here. Lost his reelection bid here big. It shows you what happens when you betray the people that voted for you, and when you don't push back on election integrity and stuff of that sort. So another big victory for the more far right, and another big loss for the establishment there. And the biggest ones of all here, um, in Arizona, Mark Kelly easily wins his primary. He's unopposed, and then Blake Masters beat Lamont by over 10% here. Still some vote left to be called. He'll probably win by a bit more than 10 in the end here, but in both Masters and in Lake's case, establishment trying to take him down at every turn possible, still loses by 10%. Masters up in every county except Gila County. Um, One in Maricopa by 11% there, a big victory there. And Masters, I believe, will probably win the Senate race by 3 or so percent in November to beat Mark Kelly. He has money, he has endorsements. He's a very good candidate, a young, energetic guy. I think he will almost for sure win this November. In the governor primary, no surprise, Katie Hobbs, the far left candidate, won the primary, only losing Santa Cruz County to Marco Lopez, who don't even know who he is, but easily wins the primary there. No, not a surprise at all. And in the governor primary for the GOP, Carrie Lake currently up by 1.8%. She will win in the end here because the votes that remain to be counted are going to benefit her due to the day of voting. Because Robson was up by around 9 or 10% last night, and then that kind of started to close in, and then now Carrie Lake up by 1.8. I believe it'll be roughly a 5 or so percent victory for Lake in the end here. And so I believe she will beat Katie Hobbs pretty easily here in November, and will hopefully pass lots of very good laws and bills to try to fix the horrible way elections are held in Arizona here. In Maricopa, they couldn't even like show the results until far later. In Pinal County, they didn't even print enough votes. It's it's unacceptable that we have in a first world country elections that are looking like a third world country. It's unacceptable, but hopefully we'll be able to get that turned around in 2022, and then try to fix states like Arizona and Pennsylvania with their counting processes. Speaking of that, also have the Secretary of State primary. Mark Fincham won the primary there. I've heard a lot about him. Seems to be a very, very good candidate, and he will likely beat what looks to be probably Adrian Fontes. Um, not called yet there, but he will likely beat Fontes in November by probably 3, 4, 5%. We'll just have to see there. Um, and Attorney General, or not, sorry, not Attorney General. U.S. House, the first district Republican primary. Schweikert won his primary 43-33 over Norton. Um, Schweikert not really bad on the issues exactly, but another congressman kind of just mid, doesn't do much. He votes okay, but I was hoping to primary him out there. Um, but overall, this whole night was great for pro-Trump, MAGA Republicans. Beat the establishment on every corner, really, both in Arizona, in Michigan, in Missouri. It was potentially in Washington, but it was great overall. Um, and I think that's just about it I got here. So thank you for watching. I'll probably be coming out with another video in a couple days about maybe an election prediction or a primary prediction. So thank you for watching and have a good one. Goodbye.